Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kim. Today I'm going to share with you everything that you need to know before going to Disneyland and California Adventure. We wanted to be at arm's reach to the parks, so we stayed in Disneyland Hotel. They have several towers within the complex and they have the swimming pool right in the center. You can still use the swimming pool even on colder months because the swimming pools are heated, but unfortunately we were just too scared to swim there since our baby is only 1 year old and we're scared that she might get too cold once we get out of the pool. You guys have no idea how I wanted to get down on that slide. The hotel room has a very vintage interior since Disneyland Hotel was built in the 1950s. We are already in our hotel room. And luckily, we were able to check in earlier because there was already a room available. This tower is called Frontier Tower, and it's a 1-bedroom, 2 queen-size bed over here. One for hubby, one for me and baby, and 1 bathroom with a bathtub. Very simple, but I love the view here. They do not have room service right now. I think it's because of the staff shortage. So we're just gonna go out and look for something to eat. If there's a part of the hotel where you want peace and quiet, go to the gym because no one is there. In downtown Disney, there are so much shops and restaurants to go to. So there's a Starbucks, Sephora, there's even a Disney Home. Basically like a Disney version of Pottery Barn. I love souvenir shops and I think I did a pretty good job at stopping myself from buying unnecessary items from there. Except I wasn't too successful at stopping my husband from purchasing these Mickey Mouse bubble maker. Half of the time we ordered from Uber Eats and we just had them deliver it to our hotel, but we did try some foods in California Adventure and Disneyland. If you are not a heavy eater, then I suggest you might want to try the kids menu because you can totally order that for yourself. I ordered this kids burger that comes with a fruit and milk, and it actually filled me up until I had this giant cookie from Num Nums Cookies, or Cookie Num Nums. We had a quick break to stop by LA Style and we tried this mac and cheese and pork ribs. And of course, Mama needs a margarita too. And guess what? I got carded, so I still look young. Or probably because I just mispronounced the drink. The pork was so tender and juicy, and my husband wasn't too impressed. He said that I could cook better than that. If you want to have a fun experience while dining, then Goofy's Kitchen in Disneyland Hotel is the way to go. You don't need to be a hotel guest to stay here, but you do need to have reservations since this restaurant gets full easily. Food is good, nothing too fancy. It's a typical buffet, but a lot of Mickey Mouse shaped food. Even if the buffet is not a huge selection of food as far as adults are concerned, I love that they have a selection of food for picky eaters. So at any time of the day, they have this mac and cheese, they have chicken tenders, you know, the quintessential food for kids. They also have berries, and there's a variety of dessert as well. So in this restaurant, Goofy and friends will come out every 15 to 20 minutes and they would just dance around the table. And I love the fact that they make sure every table will get to have a view of them dancing. It's very personable and my toddler totally enjoyed it. She kept doing this, you know, like the jumping motion of an excited baby. Inside the Disneyland Resort, we tried the Ronto Roasters. It's within the Star Wars complex. I tried this Tatooine sunset drink. It's very refreshing, but if you're not into sweets, this might be too sweet for you. I also tried the Ronto wrap. It's a little bit spicy, so you might want to think twice before giving it to your little ones. Red Rose Tavern is a Beauty and the Beast inspired restaurant. My toddler tried the chicken tenders and fries, and my husband and I tried the gray stuff. So it's actually popular from the movie of Beauty and the Beast. It's basically a dessert that has some raspberry inside and the whipped cream is color gray. And it's just so delicious. You just gotta try it. The last morning in Disneyland Hotel, we tried the Tangaora Terrace Tropical Bar. Ooh, that's a handful. Since it's Monday morning, there's not a lot of people there, so we didn't have to fall in line. I tried the Japanese fluffy pancake. so good. And my husband tried the bacon and potatoes and eggs. Just a quick break. If you are a returning subscriber, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming back. And if you are new here, please consider being a part of this community of motherhood hacks, tips, and all things girly. You can do so by clicking the subscribe button down below and clicking the bell notification so you know whenever I upload. Okay, back to content. I also have a few tips for you before you go to Disneyland and California Adventure. And the first one is to download the Disneyland app. So you will see the different rides from California Adventure and Disneyland and how long the line is, so that you will not waste your time trying to check every ride, and then all of a sudden you would see the line is too long, and you know what I mean. You can schedule accordingly using your app. Right now we are inside California Adventure. Before we entered, we noticed that there are different lines. One line is extremely long because that is for the park hop ticket, meaning you can switch parks, either California Adventure or Disneyland, on the same day. So that's the long line. And the shorter line, or basically no line, is the California Adventure alone, meaning we're only allowed to enter California Adventure for this day. And we also have to keep in mind that right now they are only accepting those who have reservations. So if you look in the website, you will see the different dates that the different parks are available. Wagons and tripods are not allowed in the park. I mean, it's reasonable, right? I can't just imagine myself being in a situation where my tripod would accidentally fall off a roller coaster ride, right? You can follow this map on Pinterest in case you wanted to know what is the best route to go all over Disneyland, so that you can maximize your one-day stay there and be able to ride as much as you can. Park tickets are already super expensive, so if you want to bring snacks or drinks, you can do so. And make sure you bring a lot of water. You will need it. I didn't really realize how much strollers there are in Disneyland until I became a parent. You gotta make sure that you park the stroller in the designated stroller parkings before going to your rides. Otherwise, if you just leave it in the middle of nowhere there, you will end up trying to find your stroller, because they will technically tow your stroller so it's not blocking everyone's way. You can have these air tags in your stroller just in case you lose it. You will just have to connect your air tag to your Find My app. Speaking of air tags, you can also buy these watches where you can attach the air tag to, and it could be a little watch for your little one. And hopefully you do not have to use this, but just in case, it will help you locate where your child is as long as they're wearing their air tags. They also have a version of this in Disneyland, but we have not tried that since our baby is only 1 year old and she's in the stroller a lot of the time. Well, majority of the time. Speaking of the Disneyland app, if you would want to have a much more convenient experience in Disneyland, then you may try purchasing a Genie Plus. By purchasing this, you will be able to fall in line in what they call the lightning lane. Basically, it's a shorter line because you paid more for it. One-day photo pass is $19.99, or basically 20 bucks, and you will have different locations in Disney where you would just find someone with a a photographer holding a camera, and then they can take your pictures there, and sometimes they can also add some effects, because you know, whenever family vacations happen, it's always the mom who's not in the picture. So why not get a photo pass to be able to be included in the picture for once? There are also designated areas in Disneyland where you can find these photographers, as well as restaurants. The rides that I'm going to mention right now are the ones that don't have height limits, because I'm primarily focusing on the rides that are good for anyone, whether it be pregnant, newborn, not really newborn, but those who have babies but would also want to enjoy the rides. So here are the rides that don't have height limits. In California Adventure, we first tried the Ariel's Adventure. Our 1 year old was so fascinated looking around the different robots and, you know, those things that make music and dancing, and it just brought back so much memories, because Little Mermaid is actually my favorite. And you bet, when they started playing A Whole New World, A dazzling place I never knew. You bet I was singing that song. I did not care. We passed by a performance by Doctor Strange. There's a lot of people gathered, and I think he was telling a story about, you know, those portals things, whatever that movie is. But we didn't get the chance to fully immerse ourselves in that performance because we were falling in line for web slingers. I actually saw one parent there who had I think a 4-month-old on web slingers, and the baby was on a carrier. So just in case you have an infant with you, know that web slingers is good to go. We were welcomed by the actual Spider-Man. He was up over there talking to us and, you know, doing the acrobatic thing that Spider-Man usually does in buildings. And when we were inside, there was reading of what to do, what not to do. And during the entire ride, my daughter was on my lap. That ride was a fun but crazy arm day for me. We were doing a lot of that. We also rode the Mike and Sully to the rescue, and my daughter also enjoyed that ride. She was pointing at all these things flying around, and it was really awesome. Even with all the noise in the park, baby girl got knocked out, probably got so tired with all that stimulation. And we also walked by this Jammin' Chefs. I actually thought that it was an actual cooking show, so I got super excited because I love to cook, you know that, right? But it's actually a performance of chefs and Chip and Dale, you know, Daisy Duck, doing all these musical instruments using pots and pans. We were supposed to ride Jesse's Ferris wheel, but unfortunately the line was too long and baby girl was a little bit grouchy at that time, so we didn't get to ride that. But there's also no height limit there. So in Disneyland, first stop was of course the Disneyland sign right when we entered, and there's also a designated photographer there who could take your picture as long as you just fall in line, and then they could connect it to your photo pass. So now we are going to Adventureland. First stop was Jungle Cruise. We had so much fun there. My daughter was so amazed looking at all these animals, well, robotic animals. It's very realistic. The tour guide was super energetic and fun and a little bit of sarcastic at the same time, but it's, you know, I mean, it's a source of entertainment for adults, so why not? And we also tried the Pirates of the Caribbean. I couldn't really categorize that as a horror type of ride because, I mean, for a 1-year-old, I don't think there's still a concept of scary ghosts or whatever. So she was just also amazed with everything that she's seeing around there. And we also tried the Haunted Mansion. So she sat in between my husband and I, and then there's a bar there that's like a seat belt for us. In Fantasyland, we were able to go through the Alice in Wonderland, so that was fun, and also the Pinocchio. The thing about Pinocchio, I think that was the ride that had a sudden drop. We did not expect that. My husband did, but he didn't tell me until we were like going up already, and my husband said,
"Okay, we're gonna get wet here."
And I said, "What? Are you serious?" And we did get wet. Good thing I brought extra clothes for my daughter, but I did not buy extra clothes for myself and my husband, so we were still wet. We just walked around and dry ourselves out with the natural air, and that was it. So just in case you are going to ride that, make sure you bring your own extra clothes, or if you don't want to bring extra clothes, some people would recommend wearing a poncho over there. I don't know, you do you. Despite the sudden drop, my daughter did not get scared. She was just like,
"Oh, okay, that was nice."
We rode the Casey Jr. train, and this is definitely safe for pregnant or with babies because it's just a train that would just go around the complex, not the entire complex of Disneyland, but it will give you a pretty nice view. We also wanted to try Dumbo, but the line was about 45 minutes and we just didn't want to wait that long. And at the same time, even though it's going around and no height limit, we were just a little bit scared that our daughter might try to stand up, and you know, we're up in the air, so it's a little bit scary for us. So as a personal preference, we kind of chickened out on riding that. But as far as no height limit goes, This one does not have a height limit. We also rode the King Arthur's carousels. It's a lot of horses. There's also benches for parents who doesn't want to ride a horse. And you also have different attachment belts just in case your toddler would want to ride a horse. You can make sure they're safe, but I recommend that you would also ride the same horse as your toddler just to be sure. And of course, did you even go to Disneyland? If you have not tried riding, it's a small world. So entertaining. It kind of gets into your head. Not in a bad way, but in a weird, good way.
It's a small world after all.
In Tomorrowland, there is no height limit for the Astro Orbiter. It's kind of like the Dumbo, but in a Buzz Lightyear theme. And also the Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. Last is Mickey's Toontown. So this is the most kid or toddler friendly area in Disneyland, and you can also have pictures taken with the characters, but you also have to practice social distancing. Right here, I'm just going to give you guys a quick example of what I wore to Disneyland. So this is all beige outfit and all blue outfit. As you can see, I love my monochromatic outfits. It's just a lot easier that way, but it looks more put together, right? I wore the same sneakers for all the days that I went out. It's very comfortable. And on the last day, I wore this polka dot dress that I got from ASOS, and of course my Minnie Mouse ears. And now we are wrapping up this video. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!